purpose of the inquiry is to utilize collected data to demonstrate progress towards mastery of the CSTP. This is the full action research cycle. Participating teachers, please complete the following information. The rest of the verification form can be used to understand the expectations of the assignment. Essential components for instruction. Record information to ensure all essential components for instruction are considered when designing your lesson series. All components must be met. NA or none is not an acceptable response. Complete all sections with as much detail as possible. And remember that assessments need to reflect your inquiry question. How is this lesson series going to provide data for your inquiry question? Share and discuss with your support provider as you complete. The entry-level assessment should reflect where your students are currently in relation to the inquiry question. The entry-level assessment will be used to measure the skills necessary for mastery of the standards and provide a baseline prior to the implementation of inquiry resources. Collect the student responses and follow the process of analysis below. You are required to insert a copy of the graded and scored entry-level assessment for each focus student. However, remember the assessments and inquiry is to be completed with your whole class. You want to label the evidence, focus students 1, 2, or 3. Reflect on the initial assessments by answering the prompts for each category you have placed students in. Focus student selection. Use the entry-level assessment data to select students representing the range of learners in your instructional environment. Identify 3 focus students for the inquiry. These are the students whose initial assessments were inserted in the entry-level assessment. Focus student 1, English learner. If there is not an English learner in your caseload, the focus student can be a student that struggles with academic content vocabulary. Focus student 2, special populations. If there is not a student with special needs in your caseload, the focus student can be a student that struggles or exceeds academically or may have social challenges, a non-typical student. Focus student 3, teacher's choice. Choose a student that will complement focus students 1 and 2 and represent the range of learners in your instructional environment. Reflect on each focus student to determine the support or resources and differentiation they may need to have success, and what those indicators of success might be for the student throughout the inquiry. Observation lesson plan. For the support provider's observation, use this template to indicate preparation prior to support provider observation. Share with your support provider during your pre-observation conversation. Focus student names and alternates must be provided for the support provider. Please make sure your support provider can identify the focus students before the observation begins. Inquiry observation record. Here, the support provider records evidence related to the inquiry question, inquiry resources, selected CSTPs, content standards, and embedded induction standards. The support provider completes this section. Save a copy of the graded and scored work resulting from the observation lesson for each focus student. Label focus student 1, 2, or 3 and insert into the doc. This observation should take place in the middle of your inquiry. Analysis of student work from the observation. Describe how your students performed. Review student work from the lesson the support provider observed, and consider the state-adopted academic content standards taught, the learning objective, the research you have implemented, and your overall inquiry goal as you reflect. Summative assessment. The summative assessment will be used to measure the skills necessary for mastery of the standards and provide evidence of successful implementation of the inquiry resources. Collect the student responses and follow the process of analysis outlined below. Insert a copy of the graded and scored summative assessment for each focus student. Label focus student 1, 2, or 3. The summative assessment should take place at the end of the inquiry. Summative assessment reflection. Based on the summative assessment results, respond to the prompts as they pertain to your whole class and specifically your 3 focus students. Reflection application. Based on the overall inquiry process, reflect and respond to the questions. How have your areas of strength and areas of growth related to the CSTP highlighted on your ILP grown as a result of the inquiry process? We are now reflecting back to the ILP that began the inquiry. Please communicate and share your work with your support provider as you plan, teach, reflect, and apply throughout the inquiry. Graduate level work is expected. Your inquiry will be shared and discussed at your district's colloquium. Take pride in your hard work.